Majic Mike in that mix. And on the Zoom, we got from all the way from T-Dot, we got Mayne Champagne. What's going on, my G?
Scarborough to be exact, Melbourne to be even more exact.
The
What's popping, my G?
The GTA area, you know what I mean? It consists of Toronto all the way up to freaking Oshawa.
Facts.
So Mayne Champagne, man, you got this bomb single right now. You got this track called Joanna. I played it on
That's what's
hour.
up.
Played it on the Magic Hour. The drums are insane. Man, I think I sped it up a bit during the mix. You know how sometimes you gotta like, you know, beat match and stuff, but that was dope, man. You know what I mean? But before we get to your track, okay, let's talk about who Mayne Champagne is. All right, like you just said, you're from the Greater Toronto area. Man, you've been doing music for a minute, so tell the world who you are.
I mean, basically, like before Mayne Champagne even existed, there was a producer named Jimmy Jump. You know, that was the name I used to go by. So I used to produce tracks for Alias Damillion, Chic Luch, J Hood, and then I did some shit for Drake before he blew up too, right?
Ish. Say ish. We're on the FM dial.
It's my bad side.
Wow, that's amazing. Like people like Drake and stuff. Wow, you know?
That's what's up. Yeah,
so
that was on his second mixtape.
So you started more in the production wise, you know what I mean?
I started as a producer, and then I caught my second federal bid, and then I started focusing on becoming an artist.
Okay. You know how you have your bad days and your good days on Zoom, you know? I did like an interview right before yours, and you know, the Zoom is acting up today, but we're gonna get it through with this one. So, you know what I mean? What's your relationship with Drake, and that's the song you produced for him? Like, what's the relationship between you two?
I mean, like I haven't really had a relationship with him since, but I wouldn't say we're on any bad terms. We have a non-existing relationship right now.
So what was it like being in the streets, you know what I mean, at your age and before you really got into the whole hip hop thing? And then you talked about your mother's mental illness, right? Let's talk about when you're in the streets and your mother's mental illness. Like, how did that affect you? How was your upbringing?
I mean, like I didn't see the mental illness like when I was like in my teens or in my 20s. Like her illness crept up on her later on in age, so I was already a grown man by that time. But as far as like my experience in the streets, I'm pretty sure it's the same as anybody that grew up in Harlem, Brooklyn, or Compton, or any major city. What it's like for a black man in the hood, you already know what it's like, man.
Yeah, you know, getting harassed, always assuming that you're up to no good. You know, you could have a black man, actually 3 of them walking in a suit and tie and they're being stopped, and meanwhile they're going to Bay Street into their own office. You know what I mean?
Right. Even look at Dwight Drummond. He's a staple on television, and even he got harassed by the police, and he successfully sued them. And he's on TV as a news reporter. So if you on TV, what about the black man that ain't on TV?
Look at that federal judge. I forget her name, right? They stopped her, and I guess the cop's body cam caught the whole thing, and she didn't say nothing. She just said her name, and they printed her name up. They went back, they talked, and then they apologized. And she said, "Well, hope you guys like the desk because you'll be doing that for the rest of your life." And she just drove off.
Facts.
I mean, so, you know, you've been out here in Ottawa, you know what I mean? Ottawa, Canada. Yeah. I know you've been out here for a minute, I think 6 months, 7 months. Yeah. Now tell us the experience here in Ottawa that you had.
I mean, I connected through the homie of the boy Loke. We had a bid at the same time. Like I was in Collins Bay and he was in Collins Bay. So like I ended up back in Toronto, but then, you know, I felt like I need to switch it up a little bit. So when I went over to Ottawa, I hooked up with him, and then I started doing beats for him and his whole camp and whatnot. So,
you know what I mean? Speaking of Toronto artists, you know, I'm upset right here the way the industry and the music, you know, all the critics and the media are treating Tory Lanez now because of one little incident. They're trying to claim that, you know, Canadian people come down, we cause a lot of problems, right? And they bring up previous episodes of certain actors that have been down in the United States, and you know what I mean? I don't want to bring up the brother's name, you know, shout outs to Tory Lanez, you know what I mean? Shout outs to Making a Stand. That's their business. That's not my business, right? I'm just saying, right, I don't like the way the media is scrutinizing Canadians that are down in the United States trying to make a career now, you know? It's been going on.
I feel like go ahead.
No, it's been going on for a minute, but this just really brought it out there. But go ahead. I want to hear your opinion
Like
on
I
that.
feel like when you have such an epic run, you got the OVO camp, you got Weekend, you got Tory Lanez. When you're on a run like that's such a historic run, you already know there's gonna be some haters, man. That's just the downside of success.
It is either small success or big success. There's always some type of hater that wants to get in your way. And, I mean, you got haters in the same company as you, and they will rat you out and do what they can to get to the top. But when they're at the top, they can't fulfill their duties. You see,
Facts. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm like everybody wants to be a boss until they have the pressure of being the boss and making those big executive decisions, and then they fold and crumble.
Not even just fold and crumble, like literally God gives you the world in your hands and you're just being lazy about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
See, you don't want to give the world in my hands because it'd be a whole different ball game over here. Y'all trust me on that. Look at the work. Look at the work I just put in right here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's another story. You know what I mean? But the reason why I bring up like the crabs in the barrel effect is because the gun violence in Toronto right now. Like you're living down there in the GTA and. Give us the insight right now. You know what I mean? I feel like
my personal. Some people might feel like I don't. The way I'm gonna answer this question, like I don't care. But I feel like it's just part of increasing your population. Like you have a city of like 4 million people, you catch 100 bodies. It's not that bad. I mean, you got like cities like Chicago that are doing like 500, 600. It's a downside of success. It's the downside of success. You get a big metropolis. Some people like it's a tragedy. Don't get it twisted. It's still a tragedy. But as your population increases, so will your murders and your crime. It's inevitable. But it's sad to see that it's still happening.
So what about in the hip hop game right now in Toronto? You know what I mean? RIP to all the lost soldiers in the game that have lost their lives, even just worldwide. Right. And I find with this, like I've mentioned to one artist before in an interview, I find with the trap, you know what I mean, music, you know what I mean, especially like the new age, there's a lot of violence behind that. You know what I mean? Like what do you think causes the violence?
Like I'm a little bit older than most of these artists, so like I got a different perspective. Like I mean, back in the days, like if dudes came to you saying you were smoking hydro, they would look at you like you was a crackhead. Now, like that's the least of your worries. Now you got these cats doing oxycodone, they're doing all types of things, and it's impairing their judgment and things moves that like any basic dude wouldn't do when you put them on oxycontin and all of those stuff. Like it impairs your judgment, man. And a lot of these dudes go ahead.
Not even just that. I remember back in the hip hop game, I don't condone drug use or selling it, but people used to talk about, getting rid of it. Now it's like the in thing is doing it. Like
doing it.
Like the junkie is worshipped more than the businessman right now. And junkie and rat are worshipped more than the businessman and loyal people. You know what I mean? That's what I find. You know what I mean?
And then you add that dudes are doing it for the gram, then doing it for themselves too, right? And they snitching on themselves.
Now, here's the difference, okay? All right. If you got a problem in your community, right? Like this person is, destroying children, murdering, and things of that nature, and you want to get rid of the problem, and it's really damaging your system, and even the people running the area say it's a problem, then I understand you got to get rid of it. That's not called ratting. That's called getting rid of a problem. You know what I'm saying? Right? But, let's say you get caught with something, right? And all of a sudden you tell on all your friends, you get out and all of them stay in jail. Well, you're a rat. And for example, somebody tells you something or something happens between me and you go and tell somebody else and the other person comes back and talks to you about it. You're a rat. You know what I'm saying? You're a snitch.
It's up to the OGs to regulate and talk to these young bucks, but it's like the OGs are so worried about their money being messed up that they don't even want to take a chance with the youth,
Well, look at the labels now. What I'm hearing, because I talk to labels and you know what I mean? And I'm hearing right now, a lot of them don't want to take the risk with any rapper right now with a record, and coming from Canada, the long list of artists that are coming from Canada have huge records, criminal records, and, they could be caught for murder or vice versa, right? So a lot of them don't want to risk it, you know what I mean? especially an artist that doesn't even have a name for himself. They're gonna risk all that money when he's not gonna be around for the next 2 months, 3 months. You never know, right?
Facts.
You know what I
Facts.
mean? But big ups to
Facts.
all the artists worldwide, Toronto, Ottawa, that's really working hard. You know what I mean?
Right. Straight up. Straight up.
So you got this track, Joanna, okay? Like
Right.
me and you've talked off air. We talked
Right.
about the drum loop, okay? That's a world famous drum loop. Like
Facts.
the Amen is a different type of drum loop, you know, NWA's used it, it's been everywhere, but I don't remember the name of this one here. But I seem
Yeah.
like every 5 years or something, that loop gets revamped from the time of the
Right.
early 90s to present time. Even Drake's used it with that track with Drake and
Yeah.
Jay-Z off his first album, right? So with Joanna,
Okay.
why did you want to go hard with these drums and then just, you know, soften it out with the synths? Like what made you want to go that way instead of like just
You
doing a
know
trap
what it
beat?
was? Like I wanted to create my own 80 what my own 808 and Heartbreak would sound like. So like the synthesizers from the 808 album, they inspired me, but then the famous drum loops from the 90s merged with that style. Like I combined it and then I came up with my own sound.
Amazing sound. You know, when I played that, okay, when I mixed it in and I listened to my show at least once for a playback to see what it sounds like, that
Right.
really caught my attention. You know what I mean? It
Right.
really caught my attention. I said I'm really going big. Now you shooting a video for this real soon, right?
Yeah, this coming Sunday, man. This coming Sunday.
Wow, eh? You know what I mean? If I'm in Torn, if I'm in Tita, I have to be in it, you know?
Already know that man, them have up the trees and thing forward, my G.
Yeah, man, and all kinds of sitting there going, eh?
Facts, facts, facts.
You
Big
know how
facts.
video shoots are, right? You know, whatever stays
Yeah,
at the video shoot, whatever happens at the video shoot stays at the video shoot. Shh.
yeah.
You know what I
Facts,
mean? Nobody,
facts.
whoever's not in the music business, entertainment, you don't get it. Whatever happens on the movie set, video shoot, anywhere in the entertainment stays on that set.
Facts,
You know what I mean? I
facts.
even know, like, you know, I don't know about now so much, but back in the 90s and early 2000s, there was gag orders on video sets. You know, you couldn't just
Oh, for
go on a
sure.
you couldn't just go on a video set. You had to get paperwork. The dancers had to get paperwork, whatever you got. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, phones checked the right at the door and all that.
even no, now they got phones checked. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
now there's no
yeah,
phones. Just in case you start
yeah.
snipping, just in case you start taking little video clips of what's to happen, all of a sudden it gets out there. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden those millions
Right,
of dollars or thousands of dollars they used to make the video is now useless. You know what I mean? So
right.
you know what I mean? But Mayne Champagne, man, like you know what I mean? What's your background now?
Both of my parents is Jamaican, you know, but I
Yes,
was
man.
born and raised in the dot.
Just like most,
You already know, G.
just like most youths, them, right? Like, you know, Jamaica, Toronto's like
Facts.
little Jamaica. You know what I mean? We have enough
Yeah,
yard man there.
or some type of Caribbean island or something.
Of course, no, big ups to all the island them. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, all the Toronto slang and chat comes from yard. You understand? So,
Oh, facts,
you know what
facts,
I
facts,
mean?
facts,
Of course, of course. So let's talk about when you were in jail.
facts.
Let's talk about when you're in jail now. You know what I
Right.
mean? I like you've learned your lesson. You're not into that anymore. You know what I mean? I would never get anybody in
Yeah.
my show
Right.
who's into all that crap, right? But what
Right.
lesson have you learned when you're in jail? Because some people go to jail and they don't learn anything. You know what I'm
Patience, man. Patience is a virtue, man. Like if you could learn one thing from the Bing, it's patience, man.
saying? Yeah, I've heard a lot of people tell me that, and you know what I mean? It's all about patience and grinding out, you know what I mean? And not taking the easy way out. You know what I mean? But
Facts.
right now, what are you doing with your life? You know what I mean? What are you doing with your life right now that's positive where you're not into that type of lifestyle no more?
I mean, like outside of me being an artist for myself, I also produce and write for others. I also am doing some acting. I've been on Suits and a few other shows and stuff. So, you know, my hustle's all around, spread around. You know.
Hold on, stop for a minute. Are you talking about Suits, the mainstream show Suits?
Yeah, yeah. Guess yeah, they had me playing a cop on that show.
That show was done in Toronto, I correct, right?
Yeah, it was done in
Okay.
Toronto. Yeah,
You see, man,
I
this
played
one.
a cop on that show.
Yo, my from my fams and all my peoples in Toronto, they tell me, Magic,
Yeah,
if you want to come out here and do movies, man, there's so many roles, there's so many, you know what I mean? Every day there's like 30, 40 roles in the job section. You know what I mean? Looking for
facts,
extras.
facts,
Toronto's the new
facts.
Hollywood. My
Yeah,
heart and condolences go out to everybody in California with the wildfires and you know, and all the stuff that's going on in Hollywood right now. It seems like Hollywood is falling and Toronto is starting to
And
build.
shout out to Chadwick Boseman too. Shout out to
You know what?
Chadwick.
My heart goes out to Chadwick Boseman. You know, I was just actually speaking of him with another guest. My heart goes out to him and his family. Yeah, that was a shocker, man. That one hit different, very different. You know, Kobe hit different too, but this one hit a little bit different. You know?
Yeah. And that's a notice to all black men. Go get your colon checked and stuff, man. Especially if you over the age of like 35, 40, you definitely need to go see a doctor, man.
Yeah, you know, it seems like a lot of our heroes are just dying off, you know?
Yeah,
Like
man.
2020 has been a really, really, really rough year, from the
Rough year,
COVID-19
man. Facts.
to the Black Lives Matter, you know, to the kneeling death of George Floyd. Man, the hanging of our brothers and sisters. I bring that hanging situation up because, sorry for that, you know, whoever's watching me on YouTube, sorry about
Right.
that. But yeah, the reason why I bring up the hanging thing, because people think that went away. That still goes on. You know what I mean?
Nah,
People
it's
get
still
hung,
going on.
dragged. Look at out west. Look at out west, right? The brother that was dating that Caucasian lady, right? He was at a bar and everything.
Right.
And he's the only, you know, brother in that town. And to all my brothers and sisters, you know, if you're the only one in that town, it's nighttime and things don't look too friendly. It's time for you to go inside the house and get out of the area. But the
Facts,
brother,
facts,
I guess
facts.
the brother felt like he was Superman or something. But he was out late, and you know what I mean? The girl was telling the police in the police report that there was warning signs like, you know, get out of
Right.
here, N-word, and they spat at him, and he was saying no one's going to make him leave, right? So when he left the bar, they grabbed him by the neck and they beat him up and they
Wow.
tied a noose around him and drove the truck, and he went around the whole parking lot. You know what I mean? And it was funny that it was funny that the cops took forever to get there. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, yeah, my heart goes up to that brother right there. So there's a lot of cases that happen, and you hear about it years later, because the internet, you can't hide anything right now in 2020. You know what I'm saying? If you're an awful person, that just comes out in the media, or it just comes out on your social media, on your own social
Right.
media. Listen to this, my brother. On your own social media, it will come out if you're a worm. Do you know that? Just by your posts, just by your posts.
Yeah, you end up telling on yourself.
Back. So yeah, man, you know, these are the things that go on in the world. You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
it's crazy, you know.
Right.
Like, so is there anything like last you want to say to your peeps? Like, what's your social media? How can they get a hold of you? Are you still doing
Yeah, I
beats?
mean, like Joanna's gonna be the first single off of my first EP, which is called Evoking Emotions, which is coming out independently on my own label, Icy Roads. So yeah, just look out for the single. The single should probably drop like in October, and then the EP probably by the end of this year.
Okay, you know what I mean? And again, Joanna's being filmed this coming weekend.
That's right.
I don't like to give dates on my show, because when you give dates and people listen back, no, I'd rather just, like, when they listen to the show, they don't know the dates of anything. They're like, when was this made? Get them guessing. So the show
Yeah,
never
they
gets
gotta
old.
figure it out on their own.
So the show never gets
Right.
old. You know what I mean? You can listen to the
Facts.
show 10 years from now. They're going to wonder, when did this come out? But they'll know Joanna when it comes out. So they'll figure the time period, right?
Right. I just want to set the record straight too, because I know a lot of dudes they be sliding in my DMs, pause, talking about, oh, you a snitch, this, that, and they're like, yo, my mom was mentally ill. She wasn't in the streets, she wasn't gang banging, she was mentally ill, and the only way you can get somebody help that's mentally ill, that doesn't want to voluntarily go to the hospital, is they have to do something violent. That's what it boils down to. So she was basically a ticking time bomb waiting to go off.
So, my brother, you know what I mean? Please give off your social media again. Everything.
Yeah, so it's Mayne and then Champagne, and that's off for all of the platforms.
Maine
Facebook,
Maine Champagne, like champagne the
Champagne,
drink,
Twitter.
Maine.
That's what's up.
So, I mean, anything last you want to say to the world right now? Because, you know, we're in a serious time. And I
Yo,
mean,
if I can leave anybody with any last words, is just have an attitude of gratitude, because that will get you through anything, man. everything starts with gratitude, man. Be grateful.
I like your background. That green. What is that? Is that a little
It's
flower?
like a
What do you got there?
Caribbean green kind of joint. Yeah.
And you got some butterflies or flowers? Those are flowers?
Yeah, yeah. My boy Rohan, he does like this art stuff. Like he's a very artsy person.
Those of you tuned in to the Majic Mike YouTube channel series, you could be seeing that beautiful artwork that Mayne Champagne has. Those of you on the radio, you better go over to my YouTube channel. Right? So Champagne, man, why you cooking tonight, man? Why you cooking? Yeah?
Yo, boy, yo, dog, is some cauliflower right now and some tuna. I look at 1-2 seasoning. Nothing too crazy though. You already know, G.
Yeah. And especially this time, you want
say nothing.
Trust me, around this time, you don't want to eat too heavy still. You know what I mean? Eat your dinner and you're cool, you know?
No, I'm getting ready for this video shoot, so I gotta keep it light. You know, man's just been training.
You're just like me, man. When I know I got something important to do, like an event or something, I try and keep, you know, not so heavy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, what do you like? You stay in shape, obviously. We see that in your Instagram and whatnot. You know, like how do you stay in shape and what do you eat?
I mean, right now I'm on a regimen of like just water. I'm cutting out the rice. I'm cutting out the breads, and I'm doing a lot of like morning walks right now.
Oh yeah, man. Morning walks is the best, especially when the sun is about to come up. Did you know that period of the morning where that sun is about to come out?
It's the golden hour.
The golden hour. If you look
That's
at that gold, exactly. When you look at that golden hour, that's so healthy for your eyesight. You know what I mean? That's the only time of the day. It doesn't happen in the evening. It happens in the morning. I don't know why it happens in the morning. But the vitamins that sun produces that time in the morning is great for your eyesight. Very good for your eyesight, you know?
Facts.
Just good for your body in general, you know?
I was saying shout out to all my Ottawa people out there by Vanier and on Montreal Road and what's that place? Was it Gloucester?
Gloucester.
Gloucester. I always pronounce it wrong, you know.
It's all good, man.
East side man there.
Big ups to everybody on Gloucester, Ottawa, you know what I mean? Everybody south, west, east, everywhere, central. You know what I mean? There's certain parts, certain roads in Toronto I can't pronounce properly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
This is how it is.
Facts.
So, you know, we're going to play your track, Joanna. You got another track, too. We'll try and fit in. Let me just bring this up on my tablet.
That one's called BBT.
Hold on.
Big Body Things.
Hold on. I don't know if y'all can hear this. Listen.
And I'm here with Mayne Champagne.
Oh, that's a sneak peek. Let me just stop that. That's coming off my tablet, man, right onto the microphone. So tell me about this one right here.
That was a collab with me and a Toronto radio DJ goes by the name of DJ Skits, and he's on Vibe 105, and he's Monday to Friday between 5 p.m. and 6, basically rush hour, right? So we just collabed and just threw a joint out there just to see what the city was feeling.
You know, I really don't usually do this, but we're gonna play your tracks back to back. Usually, I do the interview, I talk, we get into the first track, we come back, get into the second one, but we're gonna play back to back. So the first one we're gonna hear is Joanna by your man Mayne Champagne. You know what I mean? Beautiful beat, I love it. And then the second track we're gonna hear is
Big Body Things, Bam Bam.
I hope that's the radio version.
BBT.
Big Body Things. And if you don't understand yard talk, Big Body Things, just put it this way.
Understand, you have to overstand.
Overstand it. You can't say what it really means.
You have to overstand it. You see it.
You know what I mean? We're gonna hear Big Body Things by Mayne Champagne, DJ Skits. But first, we're gonna hear Joanna. Brand new track
featuring Mayne Champagne.
But we're gonna hear right now. Those of you listening on the radio, right now, we're gonna hear Mayne Champagne. The track is called Joanna. Go stream that on all platforms. Videos dropping soon. Then after that, we're gonna hear Big Body Things, Mayne Champagne featuring DJ Skits.
Bam bam.
All right. Thank you so much, Mayne Champagne.
All right, man. We'll talk, man. You already know.
All right. Back to back with Mayne Champagne right here on the Majic Hour.
Bam bam.